Hi everybody, I'm Bill Whittle, and this is The Firewall. Hey, did you ever look out at what's happening in the country these days and think that you must be going crazy since you, or at most, you and a couple of your crazy friends seem to be the only ones that think that the whole world has just gone mad? Well, first, you're not alone. Second, you're not crazy. And third, it's not an accident. This president and his entire administration are gaslighting the American people, and so far they've done a hell of a job of it. Well, what does that mean, gaslighting? Well, here's a Wikipedia definition that's as good as any. Gaslighting is a form of mental abuse in which false information is presented with the intent of making a victim doubt his or her own memory, perception, and sanity, unquote. That's a great term. It comes from a movie called Gaslight, most notably the 1944 version starring Ingrid Bergman and Charles Boyer. The plot centers around a man trying to drive his wife insane by insisting that the things that she repeatedly sees and hears simply didn't happen. Well, let's just hustle through a few examples. March 2012, President Obama was having what he thought was a private conversation with outgoing Russian President Dmitry Medvedev, but someone left the microphone on. President Obama said on camera he'd basically be willing to hand over our missile defense system, which was developed over decades and at great expense to protect us and our NATO allies, so long as the Russians didn't act up and give him any trouble before he could be safely reelected.
That's my space for you. Yeah, after my election, I have more flexibility.
Yeah, I understand. I transmit this information to Vladimir and Alexander.
You know, you got to hand it to the Russians. Vladimir was as good as his word. They did wait until after his re-election to start their rampant military conquest. Vlad knows who his friends are. Act 2. For 10 days after the terrorist attack on Benghazi, an attack which within minutes was clearly a terrorist attack due to, RPG fire and prepared firing positions for mortars, not to mention taking place on September 11th, Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton, Susan Rice, and all the rest said the entire thing was a spontaneous protest against an unknown film that had been on YouTube for months. For over a week, they kept up that lie, and this man, Nikula Vasily Nikula, went to jail for a year for having the audacity to imagine that he had a First Amendment right to say whatever he damn well pleased. And when Mitt Romney had Obama literally speechless about it in the second debate, well, Candy Crowley steps dutifully forward as the housemaid to corroborate the gaslighting lie, and Mitt Romney and you and me and all of us looked at each other as if we were losing our minds. A protest about a movie. Darling, are you all right? We said it was a terrorist attack from day one, don't you remember? It's gaslighting. And finally, when attempting the government takeover of a sixth of our economy, Barack Obama said on camera no less than 36 times,
if you like the insurance plan you have now, you can keep it.
If you like your health care plan, you can keep your health care plan.
But he knew. His staff knew. His advisors knew. His opponents knew. The insurance industry knew. Doctors and hospitals knew. And anyone with the brain of a squirrel knew that you could not mandate the implementation of the requirements of the Affordable Care Act, Obamacare, without voiding many, if not most, if not all, of the existing health care plans in the country. He knew. They all knew. And once that law was rammed down the throats of the American people and the actual unspinnable real-world consequences showed up in the form of cancellation notices, he had the nerve to look us right in the eyes and say,
What we said was you could keep it if it hasn't changed since the law's passed.
What? No, dear. He never said if you like your plan, you can keep your plan. Darling, are you all right? You seem a little confused. Are you ill? Gaslighting. It's gaslighting. You're not going crazy. Of course he said what you heard him say. Oh, by the way, here's one other thing the Wikipedia entry had to say about gaslighting. Psychologist Martha Stout states that sociopaths frequently use gaslighting tactics. Sociopaths consistently transgress social mores, break laws, and exploit others, but they are also typically charming and convincing liars who consistently deny wrongdoing. Thus, some who've been victimized by sociopaths may doubt their perceptions. Now, in the movie, Ingrid Bergman's character is saved when a sympathetic detective notices the gaslights are being dimmed as well. That's all it takes, you see. One other person to see and hear what you are being told you're crazy for, claiming to see and hear. Now that's why, as in the movie, the victim, that'd be us, has to be isolated from other people with different perspectives, because all it takes is one independent verification of the gaslights dimming and the entire larcenous, cruel, murderous scam just falls away into dust. So, here's your verification. Now go forth and spread the word. You're not nuts. He's nuts. Oh, and please subscribe to our YouTube channel and visit us at truthrevolt.org.